They say the ways of God are beyond our understanding. But have you ever truly considered the possibility? What if your cat is one of his chosen messengers in disguise? Today we'll explore 15 profound and divine reasons why your beloved feline might be playing a sacred role in a plan far greater than we can imagine. Reason 1. A bridge between worlds, seen and unseen. Have you ever caught your cat gazing into the emptiness, eyes fixed on something invisible to you, or reacting as if it senses a presence beyond your reach? It's as if cats live on the edge of two realities, effortlessly moving between the physical world and one we can't begin to explain. Since ancient times, people have believed that cats possess the ability to perceive spirits, energies, and unseen forces, acting as protectors not just of our homes but of our very souls. Maybe it's no coincidence. Maybe God entrusted them with this sacred role, silent guardians shielding us from dangers that lie hidden just beyond human awareness. When your cat meows into the void or curls up beside you when the air feels heavy with emotion, it might be more than just instinct. It could be sensing energies we're not capable of detecting. This spiritual sensitivity reminds us that reality is far more layered than it seems. And through the quiet wisdom of our feline companions, we're gently encouraged to believe, to open our hearts to the beautiful divine mysteries that surround us. Now, let's test your speed. Can you subscribe and hit the bell button in just 3 seconds? Comment, "I'm in the Cat Lovers Club," if you made it. Reason 2. Gentle healers of the heart and soul. Cats quietly step into our lives not just as pets, but as tender healers. Their soothing purrs like a soft lullaby, easing the burden of our tired hearts. Picture yourself coming home after an exhausting day, overwhelmed, drained, and emotionally frayed. Without saying a word, your cat curls up next to you, their rhythmic purring vibrating against your skin. In that simple moment, it feels as if they know. They sense the heaviness you carry, and without asking for anything in return, they choose to stay close. Science confirms that a cat's purr operates at frequencies known to relieve stress and even promote healing in the body. But there's more to their comfort than just biology. There's something deeply sacred in the way they dissolve sorrow without ever speaking. Cats don't seek explanations. They don't ask you to justify your tears. Instead, they offer a quiet companionship in your hardest hours, a calm presence that softly assures you are not alone. Isn't it extraordinary to think that God may have placed these intuitive, compassionate beings in our lives to silently reassure us that even in stillness, our pain is acknowledged and our hearts are never truly unheard? Reason 3. Keepers of sacred sanctuaries. There's an almost otherworldly quality to the way cats select their resting places, as if they're drawn to energies we can't quite perceive. Whether they stretch out in a golden patch of sunlight on the floor or curl into the corner of your favorite armchair, cats have an uncanny instinct for discovering and claiming spaces of serenity. And when they do, it feels like they're blessing that spot, quietly transforming it into a place of stillness and peace. Perhaps God gifted them with this gentle wisdom to remind us of something we often forget: the importance of creating sacred spaces in our lives. Moments of rest, corners of calm, places where we can pause, reflect, and simply be. Through their quiet presence, cats turn the mundane into the meaningful. They urge us to honor the need for solitude and to nurture environments where our souls can heal and reconnect, not just with ourselves, but with something higher. Their peaceful rituals are a sacred invitation to build our own havens where the divine can speak softly in the silence. Reason 4. Steady companions through life's tempests. Life is a winding path, full of bright joys and deep sorrows, unpredictable, chaotic, and sometimes overwhelming. And in those turbulent moments when everything seems uncertain, your cat becomes a quiet constant, a gentle, grounding presence amid the storm. When it feels like the world is collapsing around you, even the smallest gesture from your feline friend, a gentle headbutt, a soft paw, a steady gaze, can bring you back to the here and now. Cats seem to possess a mysterious sensitivity to human emotions. They instinctively know when you're hurting. They won't speak or ask questions, but they'll draw near, curling into your lap or brushing against your leg, offering their calm companionship in silence. It's almost as if God sent them to show us that comfort doesn't always come through words or actions. Sometimes just being there is the purest form of love. Their soft purrs and silent presence are quiet assurances. You are not alone. You are cherished, even when everything else feels broken. Reason 5. Gentle guides in self-care and sacred balance. Cats move through life with a grace that reflects inner harmony, always honoring their needs without guilt or hesitation. They stretch with intention, rest when they're tired, and groom themselves with patience and care. Every action is a quiet declaration. My well-being matters. In their unapologetic routines, cats teach us a lesson so many of us forget, that self-care is not indulgence, but necessity. They remind us to listen to our bodies, to set healthy boundaries, and to embrace rest as an essential part of living well. Perhaps God placed cats in our lives to mirror a slower, more thoughtful way of being, one that values stillness and restoration. When you see your cat sleeping peacefully, unbothered by the demands of the day, it's a soft nudge to pause, to breathe, to be. Through their quiet example, cats show us how to return to ourselves. In their world, the simple moments are sacred, and by watching them, we're reminded to seek peace in the gentle rhythms of everyday life. Reason 6. Messengers of presence and mindfulness. Cats are masters of the present moment. They don't carry the weight of yesterday or anxiously await tomorrow. Instead, they fully immerse themselves in what is, whether they're playfully chasing shadows or snoozing in a sunbeam. In a world where our minds are constantly racing, cats serve as living reminders to slow down, to let go of worry, to stop and notice the beauty in what's right in front of us. God may have gifted us with these mindful beings to teach us the art of presence, not through grand lessons, but through the quiet joy of now. When your cat sprawls out contentedly or loses itself in the wonder of a flickering light, it's an invitation. Let go, be here. They show us that fulfillment doesn't always come from reaching some distant goal. More often, it's hidden in life's fleeting, ordinary moments, the kind we often overlook. And in following their lead, we begin to rediscover the magic of simply living. Reason 7. Emblems of strength through adversity. Cats are, above all else, survivors. They endure illness, hardship, abandonment, yet they emerge with grace and quiet dignity. No matter how rough their past, they find ways to adapt, to heal, to keep moving forward. Their resilience is nothing short of extraordinary. Each time your cat gets back on its feet, whether after a fall or a moment of weakness, it's a small miracle. A lesson written in motion. You may be knocked down, but you are not broken. Perhaps God gifted us these tenacious creatures to remind us that even in life's harshest trials, we carry within us the power to begin again, to rise, to heal, and to walk forward with quiet strength. Their ability to overcome and thrive teaches us that resilience is not about never falling. It's about always rising again and again. Reason 8. Vessels of love without condition. The love you receive from a cat is unlike any other. Subtle, steady, and soul-deep. It asks for nothing but presence. It accepts you exactly as you are. No masks, no explanations. Your cat doesn't care about your mistakes, your imperfections, or the burdens you carry. They simply love, in silence, in stillness. In small gestures, a nudge, a nap beside you, a slow blink that says, "You matter to me." This quiet, unwavering affection is a reflection of divine love, a mirror of the kind of love that needs no justification. It reminds us that we are worthy just by being. In their presence, we learn how to love without conditions, to accept others gently, and to connect with the sacredness in every soul. Through them, God teaches us how to soften, how to forgive, and how to embrace with pure, open-hearted compassion. Reason 9. Companions on the path to inner stillness. There's something profoundly calming about the presence of a cat. When they curl into your lap and begin to purr, the noise of the world fades away. Time seems to slow, and your own breathing begins to match their rhythm. Cats carry an energy of peace, an almost meditative stillness that radiates to those around them. They don't strive or chase after more, they simply are, and in doing so, they guide us back to ourselves. It's as if God placed them in our lives as living reminders that peace isn't something we find in the outside world, it's something we cultivate within. Through their gentle way of being, they invite us to slow down, to let go of what we can't control, and to savor the serenity hidden in each moment. Their purr is a prayer, their presence a meditation, and in their quiet company we are gently led back to a place of calm. Reason 10. Reflectors of the soul within. Cats have an uncanny way of mirroring our emotions. When you're full of joy, they play and leap as if sharing in your light. When sorrow visits, they grow still, offering silent companionship that meets your sadness without judgment. They respond not just to our actions, but to the energy we carry, reflecting back to us the emotional state we might not even be aware of. This mirroring isn't coincidence, it's divine design. Through their subtle sensitivity, cats help us become more aware of our inner world. They teach us to acknowledge our feelings, not hide from them, to accept both our light and our shadow. In their presence, we are invited to see ourselves more clearly, not through criticism, but through quiet awareness. And through this awareness, we begin to heal, grow, and step into a more honest version of who we are. Cats, in their intuitive grace, help us journey inward toward truth, wholeness, and self-understanding. Reason 11. Keepers of emotional harmony. Have you ever noticed how your cat instinctively draws near when you're feeling overwhelmed? They seem to detect sadness, stress, or heartache without a single word being spoken. It's as if they're tuned into the subtle frequencies of human emotion, able to feel what we cannot always express. Cats often become still and present in these moments, lying beside you or gently placing a paw on your arm. Their purrs become a quiet balm, soaking up tension and softening emotional wounds. In their stillness, they bring emotional stability, quietly absorbing the heaviness we carry. Many believe that God endowed cats with this intuitive sensitivity as a form of spiritual protection to ensure that even in our loneliest moments we are being energetically cared for. Each time your cat curls up beside you during emotional turmoil, it's a sacred exchange. They take in some of your pain, offering calm in return, a divine act of support in its purest form. Reason 12. Living lessons in letting go. Cats hold no grudges. They may hiss or sulk for a moment when wronged, but soon enough they return to you with soft eyes and gentle gestures as though nothing happened. Whether it's a missed mealtime or an accidental nudge, they move on with grace and dignity. There is no bitterness, only a readiness to love again. This capacity for forgiveness serves as a powerful spiritual reminder. Perhaps God created cats to reflect the beauty of release, to show us how much lighter life becomes when we stop carrying emotional baggage. In watching a cat forgive so easily, we're reminded that true healing begins with letting go. Their gentle resilience teaches us to repair connections with compassion and to make space for love to return. Reason 13. Gentle builders of trust. Earning a cat's affection is a gradual journey. They don't rush into closeness. They observe, they wait, and only when they feel safe do they allow intimacy. This slow unfolding of trust is a sacred process. Every small gesture, a blink, a soft headbutt, the first time they curl into your lap, is a quiet milestone. Through this relationship, we're taught the value of patience, consistency, and respectful space. God may use cats as a living metaphor for how trust should be nurtured, not forced, not demanded, but earned over time with love and care. Their reserved nature teaches us that true connection is delicate and sacred, and that when it is finally given, it is one of the most meaningful gifts we can receive. Reason 14. Expressions of divine artistry. Each cat is a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. From their fur patterns to their personalities, they radiate individuality in every movement. Some are bold and curious, others are shy and soulful, some have perfect symmetry, while others boast crooked tails or mismatched eyes, each detail a brushstroke of divine imagination. Through them, God reveals the joy of diversity, the beauty in difference, the magic in imperfection. They remind us that we too are uniquely crafted, no less extraordinary in our quirks and complexities. When we celebrate a cat's uniqueness, we are, in a way, honoring the infinite creativity of the Creator. They teach us to marvel at life's variety and to embrace our own identities without shame. Reason 15. Love that transcends time. When a beloved cat leaves this world, their presence doesn't vanish, it transforms. The echoes of their purrs, the memory of their warmth, and the joy of their companionship linger in the soul. Even in their absence, they remain a part of us, woven into the fabric of our hearts and our homes, impossible to forget. This eternal bond is more than memory. It's a sacred thread that defies space and time. God uses this connection to show us that love is never truly lost. It evolves, it deepens, it continues beyond the physical. Each time you remember your cat with a smile or feel their spirit beside you, you're reminded that the deepest forms of love are eternal, a divine truth written in the quiet language of the heart.
Thank you for watching. Click on the following video to learn more cat secrets.